this video, I'm gonna give you all the tips you need to know to travel to Argentina and not have any problems. There are lots of important tips I've putting all together in one video so you can go there with peace of mind and make the most of your trip. You need or you don't need documents, passports, vaccinations when traveling there. There are times when it's very difficult, more expensive times, which cities to visit, just Buenos Aires, are there any other worth visiting? I'll explain everything here, where to stay, how to book hotels, how to save a lot when buying Argentinian pesos, which is a very good tip. In short, there are lots of tips that will make you all the difference to your trip, guys. So don't forget to give us a like, that's very important for us. So give us that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and buckle up. Hey guys, for those who don't know me, I'm Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the Grupo Dicas, the largest travel content network in the world, and today we're gonna talk about Argentina, a very popular destination for people from all over the world, especially those who live in Latin America, in Brazil, who travel there a lot. Argentina, first tip, is in an economic crisis and everyone is asking, is it cheaper, is it safe, is it dangerous, is it getting more expensive, how's the situation there? So people, in terms of safety, we felt very safe, even when we went a few years ago when there was already a crisis. We felt safer than in other places like São Paulo. I felt much safer than there. We didn't have any problems. Just always be aware, like anywhere in the world, of theft. Keep your passports, documents, money, whatever it is, well guarded in a zippered bag. You keep an eye out, but we've never noticed any problems, and a lot of people who have been going recently have said that their safety is fine even with the crisis. Prices did go up a bit after the new president took office. Prices have gone up, but by around 10%, nothing that would justify an absurd increase. So all in all, it's good. You can still visit Argentina. It's a bit more expensive than it used to be, but it's still one of the cheapest destinations that you can travel to, and you have no problems with safety. We heard about it from several people. Of course, you have to keep an eye out, but in any cases, it's really safe. And which cities to visit in Argentina? Most tourists go only to Buenos Aires. They travel for between 5 and 7 days, and you can enjoy Buenos Aires very well. They stay there, enjoy it, and return. There are some really cool places that are incredible that people are starting to visit more and more, and that I think are worth considering. We have videos of all of them explaining each destination video by video, so if you want to do some research, you can access all the videos we have, but here we're gonna give you all the tips, don't worry. Let's go. First of all, Buenos Aires is the central point. It's where everyone goes. And what's the cool thing about it? It's nice to go to these 4 destinations that I'm going to mention, which are very cool. And Buenos Aires ends up being part of it because the flights only arrive there. You have to get to Buenos Aires so you can get to know the city. And if you want, you can go to one of these other destinations. One destination that's on the rise and that's really cool is Mendoza. It's a beautiful city, more focused on wineries. If you don't like wine, I think you need to move on to another destination. It's a beautiful city, but it's very focused on the wineries. It's the Tuscany of America. Many people joke about it. It's very nice. It's worth visiting and spending 4 or 5 days in Buenos Aires, 5 days in Mendoza. There is also Bariloche, which everyone knows. It's a city famous for the snow, for the skiing. The mountains are very nice. You also have to take a flight from Buenos Aires. Most people end up going winter, which is from July to September, to see the snow. But in summer, Bariloche is beautiful. It's much nicer and also cheaper. It's also emptier, so it's worth it. And then there's El Calafate, which is a very small town and very famous for its glaciers, which are slabs of ice. They're the biggest in the world. It's surreal. You understand from the photos and the videos, and it's really nice to see. And then there is Ushuaia, which is further down the coast. It's known as the end of the world because it's the city closest to the South Pole, so it's a very cold place. It's cold, it's snowy, it's a hike, but the landscapes are very beautiful. It's a beautiful little town and a lot of people like to visit it. Can you combine more than one trip? Yes, you can, but I think it would be too much unless you have more than 20 days to travel, 18 at least. But I think the best thing is to choose 2. Buenos Aires is one more and focus on that, but you can get to know them too. Some people do Buenos Aires and El Calafate and go down to Ushuaia, so you just have to see how many days you have available, and your style of travels too. Everyone's gonna have their taste, something they like, something they don't, so you have to analyze your itinerary, see the places you want to visit, see the places that are going to be worth it, like I said, because I mentioned the wineries, so if you don't like wineries, there is no point of you going there. When to visit Argentina? It depends on the destination because there are so many different destinations. Speaking of Buenos Aires, which is the main one, from June to September it's winter, so it's very crowded, very cold. Winter and summer in Argentina are very intense. Summer is really hot, it's strong, but winter is really cold, absurdly cold. So from June to September it's snow season and everyone wants to go there, to go to Bariloche, to Ushuaia, to ski. Mendoza also gets snow from time to time in winter, so Buenos Aires is crowded, it's high season and it's cold. If your idea is to see the snow, you have to go at that time. They say there's still snow in places until the end of September and it starts in the middle of June, at the end of June. Do some more research the year you go, but if your idea isn't skiing, skip winter. The summer is too much for me too. It's an intense summer and Buenos Aires is a beautiful place, just as open as Mendoza, where you can walk around and enjoy the outdoors. So I think you can avoid December, January and February. The spring and summer months have seasons. I think it's worth thinking about spring and fall. The weather is more pleasant, the tickets are cheaper, the hotels are cheaper, everything isn't so crowded and you end up enjoying it much more. And the best part, it's not so expensive. You can get cheaper prices and move around without having to worry about the climate. An important tip is that Buenos Aires has two airports. When you search, you see that there's Aeroparque de Ezeiza. You see the acronym, the name here. Ezeiza is much further away. It's really a little distant. It's about 40-50 minutes from the center. Aeroparque is in the center. It's 15 minutes from the tourist areas and hotels. So when you're researching, if you can prioritize Aeroparque, prioritize it. But if you have a much better, cheaper tickets through Ezeiza, you can take it. It's nothing absurd, but be aware that these are different. You have to keep in mind when you're researching. Where to stay in Buenos Aires? I'm only going to talk about Buenos Aires because if I talk about the other cities, the video will be too long. If you want, there will be a video of everything here. All the tips for Ushuaia, Calafate, Mendoza, where to stay, what to do. There are about 5 or 6 videos on each destination, so you can watch them one by one. But talking about Buenos Aires, which is the majority, almost everyone goes there. Our favorite area is Recoleta. It's a sensational neighborhood. Every time we've stayed there, we like it very much. It's very well located. It's close to everything, to the tourist center of Palermo. The Recoleta itself has several tourist attractions that you can visit, so it's a very nice place and I found it the most charming, the quietest, the safest. We liked it a lot. There are cheaper hotels, it's not expensive. Some people say it's more expensive to stay there, but it's not. We've already found very good hotels for very low prices. I'll leave the hotel we stayed in here in the video description. Every video underneath the video in the description. You can click on show more and I'm going to leave a link to a page where we'll organize it, all the links we use to organize our trips. These are the places we've known for years and know are the cheapest for each item, the place to book the cheapest hotel, where to get the cheapest transfer from the airport to the hotel, the tours, where to buy the cheapest exchange rates, in this case the Argentinian pesos, the travel chip, the travel insurance. Guys, it's all explained. Use the link below to organize your trip at the best price and with the services that we really know and we really trust. They are amazing. And here you'll find the hotels we stay in all the cities in Buenos Aires. I left 2. The one in Recoleta is there. It was very good price. Do some research if you think it's too expensive. Another tip is downtown. It's near the obelisk, the main avenue in Buenos Aires, and lots of people stay there too. Is it dangerous? No, it's not dangerous, but from what we felt when we were there, Recoleta is quieter. The center at night is sometimes less busy. I wouldn't say it's dangerous, but we had that perception. But many people stay in the center and say they liked it, that it was very good and there may be cheaper hotels, so you can do your research and see which one you like the best and which region you prefer. Doing things in advance. This is a tip that's making us save a lot on accommodation, both in Buenos Aires and anywhere else in the world. It's the advance notice. What happens? We know a website that we use a lot to make our reservations. Below I've provided links to the hotels, the search engine and everything. From the map of Buenos Aires to the hotels, it's all on the website. And what's the advantage? It's huge. It's the biggest hotel website in the world and I'm sure you've used it and know it too. But the great thing is that they have free cancellation on almost all their hotels. So if you've checked in, you like it, You know you're going on a trip, you book to guarantee the price. If you have free cancellation, if later you need to change the hotels, move, cancel, or do anything, in one click you cancel. There's no bureaucracy, you don't pay anything, but you guarantee that price, because we're seeing that in a matter of months, sometimes a week or two, prices are going up a lot. So try to do it as soon as possible and you will save a lot of money on accommodation. Restaurants, everyone says it's too expensive to eat in Argentina, and what happens, it used to be very cheap, then it started to get very cheap and people are freaking out saying it's too expensive. We did a lot of research there, we looked at the latest prices, and here's the thing, it's a bit more expensive than it was before, but even so, if we compare it, for example, with Brazil, which is where we lived, São Paulo, where I lived for years and paid for things, I felt Buenos Aires was cheap. I found the prices good, eating good, nice places. A Big Mac, for example, costs $4. You can buy a complete Big Mac combo for $6. Then you convert it to pesos or your currency to get an idea, but it's more or less this bill. A nice restaurant, a couple, we spent about $20, a nice place, having some wine and something else. So I don't think it's expensive. I think it's really worth it. Talking about what's worth it, shopping. What isn't worth buying in Argentina? People, wine, food, sometimes alfajores, dulce de leche, these cultural and food things, because the rest we've bought a lot and it's no longer worth it. Clothes, electronics, perfumes, handbags, they're practically the same as elsewhere, at least in South America. Now let's talk about the exchange rate, how to buy Argentinian pesos. Guys, you can buy Argentinian pesos much cheaper. We'll explain everything in detail, you'll save a lot. One thing to understand, Argentina is different from the rest of the world. You need to understand this when you travel there. Many years ago, for years and years, there was the blue exchange rate, the blue peso, or parallel, the name and the official exchange rate, which is the government, and this was sold in the illegal exchange offices, which was good. It was super easy to find, everyone bought it, but it was absurd because it was half the price. So if you were to look it up on Google today, buy it in exchange house, for example, if I lived in Brazil, I'd go to an exchange house and ask for Argentinian pesos. With $1, for example, I would buy 20 Argentinian pesos. If with this currency I went to those illegal houses in Argentina, on Cal, Florida, which is where beach hidden but super easy to find, you could buy 40 pesos instead of 20 pesos with $1. So our money was worth twice as much. So if you went there with $1 or a real, you got twice as many pesos, so it was an absurd discrepancy. So there were various tactics to buy cheaper, but after Milei took office, he sort of cuts that out. He cut the official exchange rate, so they kind of unified it, so there's no longer that difference. But even so, just like anywhere else in the world, you can save a lot on buying foreign currency, and I'll explain everything. So let's go. If you go to the traditional exchange house in your country to buy Argentine pesos, you pay the tourist rate, the tourist peso, and if you use your credit card there, you use the tourist exchange rate with a few extra charges that always go on the credit card and a tax of around 6.7%. So it's an expensive tax, you pay a lot. Here's a tip to save a lot on all your purchases. In the past, there was the question of Western Union, which is a store that had several stores scattered around Buenos Aires. You could send the money there from your country, you could pick it up in pesos, and there were all sorts of options. The cheapest we've used it's too. Everything worked out fine, but it was a lot of work because you have to go to the store, pick it up, there's a long queue, sometimes they have a limit, you have to pick up part of it in one day, another part in the next. Sometimes there isn't any, it's closed. It was a bit of a hassle, but it was advantageous, so we did it. A lot of people did it for years and it worked. Now, there's a way that we're using a lot and that everyone's using, which is global digital accounts. These are accounts that you open in less than 5 minutes with practicality, just with your ID card. It's super easy. You open it using your cell phone, using the app, and you get a dollar account. Then you can get your money into this dollar account. That's the big advantage. It's an account that doesn't pay an opening fee, maintenance fee, monthly fee. There's nothing. It's very cool. You won't have any maintenance or opening fees, and you have a dollar account. You can dollarize your money and you can use this card anywhere in the world. And then the big advantage is that the dollar you buy there, you'll be buying the commercial dollar. If you look up the commercial dollar, if you search on Google, you can put commercial dollar versus tourist dollar. You see that the commercial dollar is cheaper, just like the commercial peso and the tourist peso. So you'll be buying cheaper currency than an exchange house and on a credit card. And then the tax is much lower. It's 1.2% if I'm not mistaken, so you can save a lot. At the end of the day, you add it up and it's a lot of savings. So use the global digital account. It's super easy, fast. I'll give you below, guys, in the video description, the one that we have been using for a long time. I'm using it a lot in Orlando because we live here. Everywhere we go in the world, I take it, I use it with ease. It automatically converts to the local currency. For example, in Argentina, you pass through and the machine will show you the many pesos you've paid, and in the account they'll be converted into dollars and automatic conversion and debited in dollars. You don't have to do anything and you can use it all over the world. I'll leave the link below as well. This link has this account and a code with a discount coupon that we got. If you open it with this discount coupon and make a shipment in the next 15 days, you can earn up to $20 in cash back, which is very nice. In Argentina, $20 is practically a very nice meal, a nice little dinner for you to enjoy, and of course, save a lot of money while doing it. So use the global digital account, guys. A tip, when you open your account, you get a virtual card to use on your cell phone. Almost all establishments in Argentina accept mobile payment. You can use it easily, it's super easy, there are explanations. But one tip I'd like to give you is, once you've opened your account, ask for the physical card. Just log into the app, ask for the physical card because it sometimes takes 2 or 3 weeks for it to arrive at your home. Just ask for it, it's guaranteed. I like to travel with my card in hand because if by chance the app doesn't work, if the cell phone runs out of battery, and also to withdraw money. That's a good tip. With this card, you arrive at the airport and put it in any ATM. The flag is Visa, so it's accepted everywhere. You can withdraw pesos or local currency wherever you are in the world, so you can withdraw your money. You have a lot of cash, which is always good to have in case you need it, and at a very good rate, better than the exchange office. So it's always a good option to have the virtual card and the physical card too. And you also get many benefits such as VIP lounge at some airports. Then go into the app and check it out. You see that they list lots of cool benefits. Automatic dollar buying, you set the amount you want the dollar to arrive at so that it buys it for you automatically. There are lots of options, it's really cool, it saved us a lot of money. I explain a lot because it was one of the things that made and makes us save the most when we travel anywhere in the world. And talking about cell phones, travel tips, how to use your cell phone in Argentina. Some telephone operators have interesting packages. You have to see the ones in your country which has America package, America's passport, where you pay a fee and you can use your cell phone anywhere in the Americas or other places, so take a look. Some offer promotions or not. In most cases, international roaming ends up being very expensive. What is international roaming? It's when you take your cell phone from your country with the SIM card from there to Argentina and use it, and many people do. What people do and what we also do because it's cheaper is to buy a prepaid international SIM card that works in that place. If you go in person to a store in Argentina, look for a phone store, you get it cheaper. When we bought a SIM card for every day, it costs about $8 to use, and then you're good to go. You're set everything up and you can use the internet without any problems. But what we started to do a few years ago, and which is providing to be advantaging, it's to buy a SIM card first. There are SIM cards that you can buy over the internet that are virtual SIM cards in newer cell phones, which you don't even need to receive the SIM cards. They send you an email with a QR code, you activate it on your cell phone, and you're ready to go when you get there. They have support in several languages, it's all very good. So why we are doing it? It's a little more expensive. Yes, the SIM card is more expensive than the one you get there, but it saves you time. It took us about 2 or 3 hours to get to the mall, wait in line, set up the cell phone. Then there was a problem, we had to call and speak in Spanish. It was exhausting. So if you take those hours of travel and value it, people, you're spending money because you're paying for airfare and accommodation. So we end up preferring to go with everything ready so that we don't have those hours wasted on the trip. But it's up to everyone depending on how economically they want to spend their trip. And I was forgetting, the chip link will also be below. Everyone's going to ask, so the link is there. The links here already have discounts. Most of them already have discounts that we already have with the partners, all for you, the followers. So use the page, save this page, and use it later on to plan on the computer everything right, because all the links here, or most of them, have many discounts automatically built in. So check it out in the description. Tours and tickets. Argentina is a place where you don't need to buy many tickets. You won't be spending much on it. It's more for sightseeing, but there are lots of nice places. The guided tour of the Boca Juniors Stadium, La Bombonera, is very cool. The Tigre River boat trip, it's very nice. There are lots of great tours to do. There's a very good website, which I'll link to below. It's a website where you can buy in many currencies. It's very cool. It's one of the biggest reseller websites in the world for tickets and tours. We always buy for Europe, for South America, here for United States too. It's a website we use a lot, so take a look. Once you're there, you'll find all the tours, tangos too, the tango dinner, which is really cool. Check it out. It's always cheaper there. We always find better prices than elsewhere, and you pay it in your currency. You don't have to pay the tax I mentioned, nor anything else. And travel insurance. Everyone asks, Gabriel, is it mandatory? It was mandatory during the COVID era, and now it's not. It's no longer mandatory, but I always say it in my videos, don't leave the country without travel insurance. We do it every time we travel abroad, and many people don't know that it's super cheap. You need to protect yourself. Here in the United States, for example, if you go for a medical consultation, or even in Argentina, it's going to be at least $100. It's expensive. Hospitalization, it's very expensive. If you get sick, break your foot, it's better to take out insurance. It covers you for everything. It will cover you for all the expenses you have, and it's around, the last ones we managed to find, around $3 a day per person. It covers you for all expenses you might have, so try to do it. There is a website that I'll give you the link to, which is a comparator. It's an incredible tool. It compares all the insurers and all the insurances, and it gets much cheaper prices than the insurance themselves. So take a look. It's worth checking out, and do one. It's worth it. It's super quick, super easy, and you can print your policy in 5 minutes, take to your trip, and everything's set. And if you have any question, it's easier than writing here on YouTube. I'm able to respond more quickly on Instagram. Follow @Lorenzi. Sometimes it takes a while to send a direct. We have a lot of messages, but I answer them. I like answering people. I like really helping. So you can send me a message there, and I'll reply as soon as possible, and I can help. And there we're doing a lot of cool content with videos that are bombing with tips from Argentina. There was one about Bariloche that went viral. Take a look at Bariloche in the summer. There are lots of great tips to follow, guys. If you like, follow us there. Follow on Instagram, and I'm sure you're gonna like the content. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel, because that really helps us a lot. And don't forget to watch the other videos, which are very good. I'm going to leave you with the 2 very important videos so that you can plan your entire trip, making the most of it and spending as little as possible. So thank you very much, guys. Have nice trips. I'll see you next video.